Batman has a coterie of supervillains. Joker, Riddler, Mad Hatter.
So what?
You said you were a superhero like Batman. Do you have a coterie of supervillains?
No, he doesn't.
So maybe you're not a superhero after all.
You want to know why I don't have a coterie of supervillains?
Why?
My coterie of supervillains is 6 feet fucking under.
There you see, Batman doesn't kill people.
Because he's a pussy.
He's a dark creature of the night.
He's a jackass who wrestles with murderers dressed like clowns and throws them in prison so they can break out of prison and then murder more people. Riddle me this. How many people you think Batman's indirectly murdered by being too much of a candy ass not to kill these fools who clearly need to be smoked once and for all, you wrinkly, Shar-Pei-looking dementia-infested fuck?
Jesus. I was just trying to make conversation.
Fuck it.
Hi everyone and welcome to another peace-filled episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the man who makes love to fish according to internet rumours, Carl Charles.
The man who can't balance because his little pinky toe is cut off, CY Charles.
And we are gonna give our thoughts on the recently finished HBO Max show, which is set in the DCEU, maybe. Peacemaker, starring everyone's favourite 15 or 16 time World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Jonathan Felix Senior Jr.
No. Jonathan Anthony Felix Senior Jr.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. Whatever. He's the best.
Yeah.
In his leading role, this is a continuation from The Suicide Squad that came out in 2021. And, wow.
Yeah, I have to say, because of the budget of this Suicide Squad, you can see when they put the flashback footage of what happened prior to this, the aspect ratio and the cinematography changes.
Yeah.
So I think they should have dialed it down or adjusted it up, according to... Because it just looked out of place. It just looked like, this is shot a little bit differently.
Yeah, but I didn't notice until they did the weird flashbacks. Not weird flashbacks, but the flashbacks to Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And because I was thinking at that point, oh yeah, the budget for this is pretty good for a TV show. It's filmed pretty well. And then that kind of comes in and it goes back to like, that's a weird transition. But it was...
Yeah. But look, I would say I really enjoyed the show. Yeah. There's lots of stuff when you think about it is like,
what
comedy, right? And filler, right? Well, not filler because it gives the characters their personalities and stuff like that. But you're like, you know what? Yeah, you could actually streamline all this, but then wouldn't be half as fun.
Yeah.
You need all that. You need that outrageous silliness to balance out stuff that happens later on. It never felt like each of the episodes is about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
but it never felt like they were just there to be there, or because they had a
time to fill.
Yeah, exactly. Or episode count or whatever like that. You know? Sometimes there's silly stuff and you're like, well, I don't know how relevant that was to the actual story, but it was funny.
But what I noticed and I liked about it, like all that silly stuff kind of takes away the seriousness of what's actually going on in it.
Yeah.
Because like without all that stuff, this is quite a depressing TV show when you think about it. Because all the stuff he goes through.
Yeah, and I will say this as well. So at the end of the Suicide Squad, he got shot in the throat. The side of the throat, right? Or however,
Yeah.
And then he's recovering after the credits of that movie.
Yeah.
And then, 5 months later?
Yeah,
or however months later?
I think it's about 5,
Yeah. He's still in the hospital. I'm like, well, yeah, but John Cena, you can't still be built like that. 5 months of sitting down laying in the hospital bed.
Yeah, well... They might have some weird technology that kept his body the way he is. Who knows at this point?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if you lay in the hospital bed for 5 months... I mean, I lay in the hospital bed... I know. I was immobile for, 2 months and didn't work out, and my mom was cussing me for looking skinny.
Yeah, imagine him, if that was the case,
Well, yeah, but he might not be skinny. He might be chubby because his muscle would be just fat, just more... He wouldn't have to... He'd either get slimmer but lose his muscularity, or he'd get fatter because he continues to eat and he's not working off. Yeah, he'd definitely get weaker though.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, a building did fall on him as well. So
Yeah, exactly. But we're gonna allow for the sake of comedy.
Yeah.
When it's comedic stuff, you don't need to explain it. It's just funny because it's funny, right?
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, we're just gonna assume just for the jokes that you left it. They're like, yeah, it's comedy.
Just go with it. Yeah, don't think too much into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So are we gonna do a little run through?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I mean, it might be quick and it might not. It might be the run through might be quick because you can't run through the conversations they have.
No.
Which take up the time.
Yeah.
Right? But it's also like, when you just take it to the basics, a lot of things happen and it can move pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, but I'd say definitely people watch it because actually the cast is really good.
Yeah, the cast is really good.
John Cena, I want to say Vigilante's insane, right?
Yeah.
Psychopath, a proper psychopath.
Yeah.
John Cena's character, he's like nutty as well. And then you got the group that from the Task Force X that are
from are they Argus?
Well, kind of,
yeah. I
can't
really remember.
The team that are looking after them, they're all like, what? To some of this insanity, they're like,
Yeah.
And the other times they're like, oh my god, I've had enough of this. They fluctuate their personalities according to the situation.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's the reactions you would have.
Yeah, exactly. A lot
crazy,
like we said before, this show is pretty like out there.
Yeah.
But the characters act like they would in a real life situations of this stuff. Like, oh, okay.
Well, it's some of them.
Some of them.
Some of the other characters are super out there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peacemaker's dad. Yeah.
Yeah. So, 5 months after the incident of what's it called in Suicide Squad? Jotunheim or
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Makes it sound like it's from Asgard, but that's not the case.
No. Different universe.
Yeah. So John Cena. Okay. Peacemaker.
Yeah,
right?
Christopher Smith, aka
Yeah.
Peacemaker.
Yeah. So basically, he's talking to the janitor about how he's going to escape, right?
Yeah.
And then the janitor's like, "I have your bag." Yeah. Because we smoked pot together. Like, what?
Yep.
What? Okay. I mean, all right. I'm
Sure.
going with the flow here.
Yeah. If friendship could be forged that easily, sure, I guess.
Yeah. But it just, you know what? I mean, from that starting bit, it gave the tone for the rest of the movie because you're like, if this is how it's gonna, I mean, the series, if this is how it's gonna be, fair enough, right? Fair enough. Yeah. So he grabs all his stuff, jumps in a taxi, and heads back home.
Yeah.
Which trailer home or whatever, right?
Yeah, to his trailer home. Yeah. Which he left 4 years ago.
Yeah. Where you been since then? Oh, in jail. He's been in jail since, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but the other funny thing is like he's grabbing all his Peacemaker gear, and he's like he can't pay the taxi driver. The taxi driver's like, all right, what's in the bag? Yeah, I'll take that Peacemaker helmet. And then you see the taxi driver just driving off the helmet on. All right, okay.
You know what I found funny about this bit as well? This whole him leaving the hospital bit.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, you're good to go. He's like, okay. And instead of to be like incognito, just wearing normal clothes, he's wearing his same Peacemaker costume, which makes him stand out for miles.
That's why everyone's like, what's this guy on?
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, not that he probably came in without any normal clothes, but at the same time, it's just like, he was going to draw
attention to yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's the best. Yeah. So he goes back to like his mobile home.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been touched in 4 years. So like, I think his mobile phone's there as well, isn't it? So he plugs it in and he's like, oh, I've got like so many missed calls and stuff because no one knows where I've been because I've been in prison.
Yeah, and then he's like, they've been charging me as well.
Yeah.
But little things like that, they just give you more of the personality stuff. He's like, yeah, it's true. You know what? Yeah. Because otherwise, he's like, if he's too straightforward, then he wouldn't mess with the rest of the series as well.
Yeah.
He needs to be
how his character is. I don't think it could work being straightforward as well. It would have been a bit extreme, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Actually, I found he's a bit more toned down than he was in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
To make him a bit more likable.
Yeah.
But then you kind of hear it doesn't reverse your opinion of him, but what it does is give you why.
Yeah,
And
it
then you're like,
humanizes him a bit.
Okay. I can see why they got it, like how he was in that situation at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he gets back home, the Task Force X operatives basically say to him, "Yo, let's join this team, and we've got a new mission because you enjoy peace so much. Let's create some peace, essentially."
And then isn't this where he meets Vigilante as well? Or was that later on?
Let me think. Not quite yet.
I can't remember.
Yeah. No. I think Vigilante's in the second episode.
Oh. I really can't remember.
Well,
yeah, it is. Wait. Probably. Because I think he goes back to his trailer park in episode 2, and that's when Vigilante turns up.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking of that because what they do... Oh, okay, hold on. Yeah, because they go to a diner, but that's skipping a bit forward, right?
Yeah.
So they basically lay out the mission for him. And I've got to say, the lady playing Amelia Harcourt, the blonde girl, she's built. She's not like massive built. You look at them, like when they were doing the dancing and singing intro, which is
I love that.
Not out of place, but strangely enough, it's just like, okay.
No,
I guess.
First time you see it, it's weird and out of place. But then when you get the tone of the program, like, it makes sense.
Yeah. The blonde lady is like when she does the muscle pose, and you're like, damn, she got arms and she got legs, man. She got like thighs. I'm like, I mean that's a lady who takes care of herself and can take care of herself physically on screen, you know.
Yeah.
But what's good is also they don't have people particular sizes. So what's good is because the different shapes and sizes, which is like, funny enough, fits their attitudes as well, right? Because the blonde lady, Amelia Harcourt, is like very stringent. Yeah, exactly. I'd say Leota Adebayo.
Yeah.
The newbie of the team.
Yep.
She's a sizable lady. Is the best way. No, I mean she's not fat or anything, but she's a bit chubbier girl, yeah.
Yeah. But
her attitude fits there as well.
Yeah. She's a great character in this as well.
Yeah, she's really fun.
Yeah.
And because she's like, what's this insanity around me? And she reacts to it. Whereas the blonde lady, Amelia Harcourt's like, this insanity around me, and I'm fed up of it.
Yeah, you could tell that she's done this for years, and she's just not fazed by it anymore.
Yeah. So they're talking about how these, the Project Butterfly is called, and you got targets. They want to assassinate a group, a specific set of people that have the butterflies, which we don't know what exactly is yet.
Yeah.
Right. So. Exactly. And then it basically said, they're like, oh, John Cena, Peacemaker's like, well, what if I don't do the mission? And they're like, well, you get thrown back in jail. And he's like, okay,
sure,
all right, well,
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Don't leave you much of a choice.
Yep. But let me go home. Let me pick up because he's lost his Peacemaker helmet, right? So let me go home, get some Peacemaker helmet, and get my eagle.
Yeah.
What?
He's pet psychic eagle called Eagly.
Yeah. So because when he goes to his house, he goes to his home, and it's Robert Patrick who's looking completely different as to what Robert Patrick looked at in Terminator 2, by the way.
Yeah.
And Double Dragon. Jeez.
Yeah.
But I think he's got like an issue with his hip or something like that. In real life.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's in his 60s about now, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. But he's proper cranky old man.
Yeah.
But he's not that old, I mean, but like you look at it and you're like, you know what, I could see how this guy could be this other guy's dad. Yeah.
Speaking of which, this is not the first time they've been in a film together. Or a TV show, whatever, together. They're both in, what's his name, innit? The Marine.
Yes. Where Robert Patrick, where John Cena was trying to chase down Robert Patrick, right? Yeah. Because Robert Patrick was the villain.
They both come a long way.
Yeah.
Well, John Cena's come a long way.
Yeah, exactly.
He can act in that, and now he can act.
yeah. And not just act like John Cena.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this film.
Yeah, so he goes and he picks up, has his little disagreements with his father, because of issues later on, which
Yeah.
are revealed, right? He's he goes to the garage where his dad just basically put his eagle, tied him to like a post or something like
Something
that.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, and then he goes to the eagle. How you been? And they hug. The eagle
Yeah.
hugs him. We're like, what? Like, okay.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But it was funny though. He's like, "Oh, Dad,
Oh,
take a picture," and his
Yeah.
dad's already gone. He's like, "Oh,
So
okay."
you somehow domesticated a bald-headed eagle.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So whatever. Oh, but what did you think of the CG on the eagle? I didn't think it looked that bad. I just
No, it
think
didn't look bad at all.
It looked too clean.
Yeah. At certain points, yeah, it looked a bit
Yeah,
too.
because the white was too white.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I say that, I mean like it was a good effect, right? It looked like obviously it's gonna be fake eagle and stuff like that, but it's just they needed to dirty it up a little bit. Because against everything else, the colors were too sharp. I think sometimes.
Or it's a very immaculate bird and it cleans itself all the time.
Yeah. It could be that. Could be that. Could be that. Yeah. John Cena's dad, Robert. No, Augie. Is it
Augustus?
Augustus?
I think so.
All right. Yeah, Mr. Smith. I'll call
Yeah,
him, yeah.
August Aggie Smith. Yeah.
Clearly takes very good care of that eagle, right?
Yeah.
So it comes to collect the eagle and collect a helmet. So he just sits down and have a couple of beers with his dad, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
They're cussing Bloodsport. They're cussing the guy that beat up John Cena.
Yeah.
Not AJ Styles.
No.
But you know how it is as well. It is right when you got whooped by a guy, right? And then you're gonna tell a family member how you got whooped. You're obviously gonna just for your own sake of your own ego. You're gonna dress down the other guy in the story, even though you got beat up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm surprised. Actually, in this they kind of hint that his dad at this part his dad's a racist because I think he said something to him about. He says some racial slur about someone, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes. No, okay. Hold on. It wasn't overt, right?
No.
But obviously, Bloodsport being black.
Yeah.
That shot John Cena. Yeah. There was something, and then you're like, okay.
Yeah, and yeah. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I could dismiss it.
yeah.
But at the same time, if it doesn't lead to anything, you just be like, why is it there?
Yeah. But then you realise later why it's there. You're like, oh, okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. So so he takes a helmet like from his dad's because it's like his dad making him all these helmets for whatever reason, right?
Yeah. In his quantum realm in the. That's
Somehow, all right. What? Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, but you're like, right. So you got a pocket dimension in your garage to restore all your villain equipment. All right, whatever. I guess.
Because my thing was like, is he some evil like scientist genius or something?
Yeah.
Maybe he is. They don't really explain it, but
Yeah, but well, to be fair, he's making all them Peacemaker helmets with variant weaponry, so it's not too out of the blue.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as well, they don't bother to explain it because you just that way you're forced to accept it.
yeah,
And it's just like, fair enough, I accept it.
yeah, give it that.
Yeah. So then he goes to the restaurant to meet the rest of Task Force X, and this is where we see Vigilante, but not really.
Yeah.
So some dude is looking at John Cena, obviously in his Peacemaker uniform.
In broad daylight.
Yeah. And Task Force X is like not the field team.
Yep.
And they're talking about the mission. And then John Cena's like sweet cheeks to the waitress, right?
Yeah.
And she didn't react badly, but I think one of the other people point out like I think it's the later girl saying, how can you call that lady sweet cheeks? And it's like, what's wrong with sweet cheeks? And they were like, that's what you think it was like, so you're checking out her ass. And he's like, no, I meant the cheeks on her face. Something like that.
This week kind of realised that he's not oblivious to like blatantly sexist things.
Yeah.
This guy. Oh, you idiot.
Yeah. And what's wrong with complimenting a girl on her features? You know, her cheeks are sweet. And it's like, all right, fair enough.
And then they explain to me, he's like, wait, that's what it means. You're like,
Yeah.
you're so weird. How do you not know these
Yeah,
things?
but that's the sort of dialogue we enjoy here because
Yeah.
it's a bit wacky, but at the same time it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Because it leads into so what they re-altered Vigilante, right? Adrian Chase to be a diner cook, and I'm like, I suppose fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
they don't really do much with Vigilante.
but he is a psycho because a clear psychopath because he sees the Peacemaker, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, yeah. He starts singing a little bit of a song. He said, I'm going to take out the trash now. So he takes out the trash, goes out the back, starts singing a little song about, making peace with the Peacemaker. I don't know exactly, right? And then one of the other guys walk out, and he's like, oh, yeah, I was just singing a happy song. The guy's like, I didn't ask.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, I'm singing a happy song because I'm having a baby. He goes, so the girlfriend you don't have, that you broke up with, somehow you're having a baby with her. Yes, we're getting an abortion.
Yeah.
And you're singing a song about having an abortion. I'm very happy that we're getting an abortion. And so is she. All right. And the guy goes, dude, whatever.
He's like, then you ask my sister out or something like that. Something weird. It's like, this guy.
Exactly.
So many issues to deal with.
Oh, yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think I got exactly how Peacemaker and Vigilante knew each other, other than Peacemaker knew Vigilante's brother.
Yeah.
Right. But how does? I guess Vigilante must have followed Peacemaker home at one point and worked out where he lived.
Yeah, I think how do they explain later on? I think they just hung out as Vigilante and Peacemaker, but Vigilante never took off his mask because when he finds out, he's just, oh, you're he. Oh, I thought you was your older brother.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah. So then, So then, Peacemaker's like, all right. So when everyone's briefed on the mission, he goes off.
Yeah.
To go to wherever he's going, right?
Yeah.
But he sees he sees Amelia Harcourt walk into a bar, and he's like, all right. So the way I was looking at it is, oh, I'm going to take my shot and see what happens, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe I could get her to like me, and maybe something else will happen, right? And if it doesn't, well, it doesn't, yeah?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. But at least, it's like, because he's a bit of a seedy character, like, oh, at least I tried. I tried to get my bones jumped, All right, okay. So she goes to the bar, she's like, and then he pops in there, and he's like, oh, for F's sake. Don't want to get harassed by all of you jabronis. Just leave me to a bar to drink by myself. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And then you get the bros, right?
Yep.
Walk up to try to. One guy tried to do whatever, right?
Yeah, he tried to get his
And then she's
piece.
like, look, just leave me alone. And then he goes off to his bros, and his bro comes. One of the bros come back and says, "What you say to my friend?" I'm like, you're an idiot. The lady.
Yeah.
So your friend complained to you about a lady turning him down, and you're gonna go up to her and try to be aggressive.
Yeah, you're not you're not a hero in this story whatsoever.
No, it's just like, what you say to my boy? All I said was, I'm not interested.
Yeah, so why make
it was not particularly rude at all,
Oh,
dear. Yeah. But yeah. So I was like, okay, is John Cena gonna come here and kick ass? No, she does it herself.
Yeah,
and I was like,
she
you know what?
him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But that displays something for later on. But it's just like, you know what? She's a lady who can handle herself clearly, but she's built like she can handle herself, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, Why wouldn't you? If you got someone like that who can do stuff, why not have them do stuff? It just makes a lot more sense. So she beats up like two, three of these guys.
Yeah, she whoops them bad.
Yeah. And John Cena's like, oh yeah, that's fair enough. He was like, fair enough, but also a bit turned on as well.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, just get away from me. Just go away from me. I don't want to know any of you outside of work. Fair enough.
Yeah, which leads him to be like, okay, sure. Then he hooks up with some woman who looks like she's literally stuck from the 80s.
Yes. So yeah, like a 80s rocker chick. I
Yeah.
don't know exactly, but I mean, you've seen Glow, right?
Yeah, sure, like
Yeah.
something from there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Which, by the way, there was nudity involved as well. But then this is like a 15, 18 rated. I think it's probably 18 with the amount of swearing in it.
Yeah, swearing and violence.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, fair enough. It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. It's not. I mean, it was a bit of gratuitous, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? It actually fits the scene.
Yeah.
And he's like singing into a
ladies' pleasure machine.
Yeah, I was gonna say a massager.
Oh,
right?
or that. That would have been better, but
a quote unquote neck massager.
Yep.
Right. He's like, oh, I love this band and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is after they've done the deed because I was gonna say, and then she attacks him. I was like, he was singing into that during the deed.
Yeah.
And she was attacking him, and they're both naked. That'd be even funnier, but you can't. How you gonna? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, and then like the way that it's cut, right? It's like she's attacking him for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, you get filled in later on, but actually, it was quite a decent fight. She was handling him. I think she's just like a little bit of a superhuman as well.
Yeah.
And what was kind of weird is because she was also quite trim in her build. All right. She's grabbing him and throwing him through buildings. Oh, not buildings, through walls. All right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And at one point he's like looking down, like staring her down there, and he's like, "F this," and he's trying to jump out the window while they continue the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't she stab him as well?
Yeah. It was actually quite a brutal fight, but not too brutal, obviously. And he's like scrambling towards the car, and I think she's sniffing him out and doing the final jump, like she could claw his face off or something like that.
Yeah.
And he used the sonic boom on his helmet, and she just splatters everywhere.
Yeah, liquefies her. You're like, ooh.
Yeah,
kind of
I'm like, fair enough. Yeah. And then the police are alerted to the incident. And then John Cena's got to say, John Cena, just in his tighty whities, is like, at the same time he's telling the rest of the field team, you know what, I've just been in this incident here.
Yeah.
And we've got to cover, and they're like, we'll have to cover it up or get out of the, remove yourself from the equation or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't get caught.
Basically. And then that's like the first part of that. The next episode is literally him trying to escape, which is pretty cool.
Well, but what's funny is like, they're like, don't go back, just go.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm going to go back and get my Peacemaker uniform. I'm like, what?
I get why, but it's like, dude.
Yeah. No, but because it can only be, if his clothes are there, it can only be him as the suspect.
So it kind of made sense him doing it, but then it's like, but know everyone else is already there. Leave.
Yeah. So, the police are coming, and then he tries to, he's in the block of flats, he's trying to escape. He knocks on the door, and the guy opens it and he just barges in there. And obviously, like, so the police get into the area of where he's supposed to be, the flat floor, right?
Yeah.
And they're knocking on all the doors. And this one door doesn't, this one door where John Cena is in, he's like, it's this husband and wife couple, and he's like, don't say anything, don't move.
Yeah, it's like some weird kidnapping, but it's not.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, because the wife sees John Cena, right?
Yeah.
And she's like flirty, and then the husband's like, "Why are you flirting with him? He's trying to strangle, he's trying to kill us or whatever." Husband being a proper little man bitch, right? Yeah. And then the wife is being like, "Oh yeah," wink and nods, and he's like, "Don't tie me up too tight." All right. I don't think that's that natural line, but you get the, get the idea. You're like, all right. Sure. All right. Yeah. And then the husband obviously like, are you staring him up for you like him better than me? And I'm like, you people.
There's a time and place for this.
Yeah. But at the same time, for the comedy, it is the perfect time and place.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So John Cena, Peacemaker, he drops from like the windows down to the other windows. That's how he escapes the police. Yeah. And the police eventually bust in to find the guy and the wife tied up. And yeah,
and this is where we meet the two detectives that are kind of like important to the story.
yeah.
I forgot their names.
Sophie
Song.
Yeah.
Yep. And Larry Fitzgerald.
Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. You know what? I was gonna say. Sometimes I just remember the actors and not their names.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why we're calling John Cena because it's basically John Cena instead of Christmas Smith. But anyways. Yeah. So they find Christopher Smith's fingerprints on the scene, right?
Yeah.
But what the Diebeard, Diebeard, okay, we'll call him Diebeard. That's what John Cena calls him.
Yeah.
Right? But it's the chubby tech guy.
Yeah. Ekmotion?
Ekmos.
I can't remember.
Economus?
Yeah, that's it. Economus. But we'll call him Diebeard. Yeah.
Yeah. He changes the fingerprints to direct them to Augie Smith, which there was like, wait a minute, that makes no sense. Okay, you're saying it's not Peacemaker, but then you're actually implicating his dad.
Yeah.
It still leads back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh yeah, that's it. He tried to play it like, yeah, it was a good idea. And they're like, no, you just realized what you've done. You probably made things worse. He's like, well, I only had like 5 minutes to think of someone, and this is the best I had. I was like,
Yeah. So when I think of this guy, immediately I think of the person that's next of kin, but incorrect because that shouldn't have been what you should be doing. Yeah. And Peacemaker, they bribed the husband and wife to not say it was Peacemaker. Actually, it's funny because when Leota goes over there, and she says, "Did you and did you not see?" And they're like, "We didn't see nothing. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Hold on a minute. No, I need to ask you what you genuinely saw or what you think you saw." And they're like, "Are you trying to bribe us?" And she's like, "Yes." And they're like, "Oh, great. Yeah, give us the money. we didn't see Jack. We totally did not see Jack. We thought you were going to kill us. And that's why we didn't see we saw anything. But if you give us money, a free trip and a holiday or whatever,
we saw nothing.
Did more. We even more saw more of nothing than ever before."
Oh, yeah. Good bit.
Yeah. So then they then John Cena then Peacemaker goes to explain exactly what happened and why they're like, "Why does random woman attack you then?" Right? And he's like, "I left a dossier that you gave me on the bed after I cleaned myself up."
Yeah, you're like,
and they're like, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot." And that is why she attacked you. That's basically what he said.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and then, that's why we say here, that's where Vigilante... Oh, he was on the phone saying this, by the way.
Yeah.
Then he tries to go to sleep, and then Vigilante is knocking at his door.
Yeah.
Yo. And then they have a conversation about how John Cena thinks that Vigilante has got his pants down outside of the door.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. You can see me from up here. And my costume's a one piece. So how have I got my thing out? Makes no sense.
It was the best. I love this part. It was so stupid.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's very informative of their characters. Because again, it displayed their friendship and their personalities.
Yeah.
And then when Vigilante started doing more crazy stuff later on, you're like, from that first interaction, even from the interaction where he wasn't in costume, you're like, you know what? This guy.
Yeah. He's not right.
Yeah. He's a bit of a nutter. He's genuinely insane. Well, not insane, right? He's genuinely psychopathic.
Yeah.
And he wants in. He wants in on the project. Well, he doesn't know it's called Project Butterfly, but he's like, yeah, I want in on this case, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, he wants to help for some reason.
And Peacemaker's like, no, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah. So, and this also is the next situation, right? Where later on, right? And then Vigilante and Peacemaker just like he's keeping Peacemaker's spirits up, so they go around destroying stuff, right?
Yeah, they have some weird destruction montage, which is hilarious. Yeah.
And then after that, you see the bed with John Cena, the wife from the kidnapping, and Vigilante with his mask still on.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah. Now, yeah, so very nice of you guys to get me involved in this. And Vigilante, yeah, I keep the helmet on throughout. I'm like, all right.
Sure.
What? Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is also in this episode. This is where we find out about John Cena's dad being. Why do I call him John Cena? That Peacemaker's dad's known as the White Dragon. You don't know, you don't know what it means yet, but he kind of gets revealed later.
So the lady that attacked John Cena in the earlier, she has she was infected with the butterflies.
I think she was a butterfly.
Yeah.
Because
then John Cena he took something from her house, right? And then he opens up and it was like a spaceship, in his bed, right? It's like, oh, they're like, what? Yeah. So it seemed like the lady did not hook up with her for no reason. Yeah. But then at the same time, how does she know that John Cena, that Peacemaker was in on this? You know?
I think it was a coincidence.
Yeah.
I don't think it was them following him or anything like that. I just think that was a coincidence.
Yeah.
I
mean, well, look, with the insanity that goes on in this series, that's probably one of the least, wackier things I've heard.
Yeah.
A coincidence, finally, but okay, fair enough. All this other crazy shit, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they go to. Okay, Peacemaker goes to do the first. So they have to assassinate some family, right?
Yeah. Because they're all something to do with this butterfly conspiracy thing.
Yeah. A United States senator.
Yeah.
Okay. And so John Cena's like, obviously, like he was saying before, right? He's got to shoot one of the little kids. Yeah. And then he's like, I don't. They're like, take the shot, and he's like, I don't think I want to take the shot. And they're like, didn't you say you do peace
no matter what?
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, yeah, but I think because this is to backtrack him a little bit from his Suicide Squad personality, where he's just like, not necessarily the mole, but just like killing for the sake of killing for all of peace.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like give him a bit more humanity and be like, but this is obviously as well when they see the butterflies, get like they've infiltrated the person and they use them as a meat bag, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And then they use their tongues to lick up whatever food out of the bowl.
Yeah, that's how they eat through their proteins or whatever, some weird joke thing.
And he, even though he saw that, he still can't do it. He's like, I can't shoot the kid. And Peacemaker, Vigilante appears because he tracked them all over there. Well, he followed them, right?
Yeah.
As you know, the first time he was appearing, it's like Hulk walked off or something, right?
Yeah.
And then Vigilante's there. He's talking to to Peacemaker. And then when the Hulk starts coming back, Vigilante hides behind the bush. And she goes, is that Vigilante there? And he says, no. And he says, oh, so you're telling me it's a talking bush? Come out of there, you fool.
He's the funniest. He's the
And
worst.
then, so John Cena's lined up to take the shot. He's like, I can't do it. Vigilante just taps on his shoulder. Oh, don't worry, man. I'll do it for you.
Yeah, I'll do it for you.
Yeah. And then he's like, da-da-da-da-da-da, kapow. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Wipes out one kid, wipes out another kid, wipes out the wife, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what?
And then the other one gets away, innit? The senator.
I think because Judo Master appears.
Yeah.
And he fights everyone. I thought Judo Master was hilarious. I don't know how tall the guy is, yeah? I know it seems like, 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'2", yeah.
6'1", 6'2", yeah?
Yeah.
According to kayfabe height or real height?
Real height.
Yeah. And Judo Master seems like he's only 5 foot in...
If that.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just like... He's just a weird guy in a suit, but he could fight everyone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's a master of judo, apparently. Oh,
Yeah.
It threw me off so much.
Yeah, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? Fine.
Something about it made me feel uncomfortable. I don't know what.
Yeah. So, Julian Masters fighting Vigilante and Peacemaker.
Yep.
Harcourt tries to resolve, like, she tried to leave to go and take care of the husband, the senator, yeah? But she gets knocked over by the bodyguard.
Yeah.
And the bodyguard, like, she's trying to explain this stuff to the bodyguard, right?
Yeah.
I think Lyoto comes over there as well. And they're like, this is that, and this is that.
Yeah.
And she had a gun trained on the bodyguard. The bodyguard had a gun on Harcourt.
Yeah.
And then you're like, all right, so we're in this situation, yeah? But Lyoto doesn't want to shoot the bodyguard.
Yeah, because she's into killing.
Yeah. Eventually, Harcourt had to get the job done herself. He was like, yeah, but you were willing to let him shoot me. That makes no sense.
Yeah. It's human logic, though, isn't it? It's one of the...
And they're like, oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. You know, you can like, so you want to shoot him to save me, but you let him shoot me, so you don't have to shoot him. Shut up.
Yeah,
no way.
That's how the human mind works, though, isn't it? You're like, in a real situation, that would happen. Yeah, that's like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And she's not a trained killer as well. So
yeah. So Julian Master has beaten up Vigilante and Peacemaker. There, you see them tied to a chair underneath the. So it's a mansion, right? But they're in like a secret underground base of the mansion.
Yeah.
Julian Master's eating what? Cheetos, super hot flavor.
Yeah.
John Cena's chatting nonsense, trash talking the Judo Master, and Judo Master just no selling it, just eating the Cheetos. And then John Cena's like, "How about you throw me a Cheeto over here? Yeah, I'll take one. You tiny little midget or something like that."
Yeah.
And Judo Master just gets the Cheeto and just throws it, like dashes it right in his face, like weaponizes it. Like, yeah. He goes, "No, you missed my mouth." You throw it at him again. He goes, "What do you mean? What's going on?" Yeah, so I found it funny. He did a lot with nothing, actually.
Yeah.
Master.
He's a good character.
Yeah. And, so the senator, who's infected with a butterfly, comes down, Groff, yeah?
Yeah.
And he's like, so you got Vigilante here. I'm going to unmask him. And then I'm going to start cutting him to pieces. And you're going to do anything to save your friend, right? And little does he know, they're not really friends.
Yeah.
So when he unmasks Vigilante's like contorting his face, and they're like, "We did that for," and they're like, "Well, you won't be able to identify me in a lineup if you don't see my actual face, right?"
He's so stupid.
yeah, I was like, "What? Okay." And then, so they hook up Vigilante's balls to a car battery.
Yeah. And
they start electrocuting him. And Cena and Juno and Peacemaker's like, "You can do whatever you want. I'll never give you the information." And then Peacemaker's like, "No, wait, no."
Not even a little.
It's like, give him something. Give him something. And then the senator's like, "You know what? I'm gonna start cutting off his toes one by one."
Yeah.
And and Peacemaker's like, "You can cut him whatever you want. I'll never give you anything about anything. He's a vigilante. He knows what about Homeland Security. He will sacrifice himself as well. 100%. I know. You'll get nothing out of either of us." And Vigilante's like, "Oh,
please tell him something."
yeah. Yeah. So I want to call it, like, the rest of the team are trying to work out how to get in there because they've got a tracker in Peacemaker's costume. Was it? No, instead they're using the net explosive device.
Yeah, from the movie Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Yeah. And they try to work out where his location is inside the building. They're like, "We're on top of him. We're supposed to be on top of him. Where is he?" And they're like, "Clearly he must be downstairs."
Yeah.
They'll work out a way to get down there. So they set explosives off to blow a portion of the
house.
Wall. Yeah. Because then this leads you to the staircase, right?
Yeah.
At this point, Vigilante is getting one of his toes cut off, right?
Yeah.
He goes, "No, not the toe, not the toe. The pinky toe helps you balance. If you can't walk, if you don't have a pinky toe." And they're like, "Is this actual logic or is he just chatting rubbish?"
I'm pretty sure he's chatting rubbish. That's what I was sitting there like, I swear this guy's chatting rubbish because I don't think that's how it's worked. I know if you got your big toe, you can't balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. Yeah.
So, yeah. So then, the rest of the team. Yeah. So the rest of the team come in to save Vigilante and Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And Beard runs the car into Judo Master and then hits him in the head with a crowbar, whatever, a couple of times to knock him out. And Judo Master's crawling across the floor, and then and Beard's just beating him up.
Yeah, like gun. You can tell he doesn't want to do it either, but then afterwards he's quite happy about doing it.
Yeah, and he does a little dance, and you're like, what?
Like, dude, man, that's weird.
Yeah, so they killed the senator. Peacemaker unties Vigilante, and Vigilante's crying about his toes, and Peacemaker's like, he didn't even cut off. He cut off half of the top of your pinky toe, right? You can still balance. It's fine. Let's go. Let's get moving. And then a butterfly emerges from the senator's corpse.
Yeah.
And then John Cena's like, two and two together. Project Butterfly.
Yeah.
Because these are butterflies.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I should have realized. Yeah. So, yeah. So they take Judo Master back to the hideout and wait for him to receive further questioning. However they do the interrogations, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Vigilante and Peacemaker go to the Peacemaker's dad's house.
Yeah.
To get more equipment.
Yeah, and this is where we see his dad's costume, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So he's a super villain of some. He's something of some degree at some point, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, here's the thing. We forgot to mention about when Aggie Smith got put in jail.
Yeah.
Right. He's asked. There's another prisoner, a black guy, right? Just sitting down on his bench.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Get out of my bench." I like that. Like when the sun shines there at a particular time of it, and the guy's like, "What are you talking about?" And then all these other white guys stand up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then the black guy's like, you know what? I'm gonna shuffle off because ain't worth getting beat up.
I don't need this. Spot. Yeah.
And then when Aggie Smith sits down, all these other white guys congregate towards him, get on their knees, and do the raise their fists.
Yeah.
And like, right, something's up with something.
Yeah.
And that's when I saw the costume. When you see the costume, when you get going it not knowing, you're like, all right, so these guys respect him to some degree. So maybe he was a superhero in this time or something, right? Maybe he's got some sort of notoriety. Doesn't mean superhero, supervillain, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they know of him clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and then this is also when Peacemaker and Vigilante find out that Peacemaker's dad's been arrested because they didn't know at that point that he was arrested, which was funny.
Yeah. Exactly. And so he goes to visit his dad in the jail.
Yeah.
And he's like, yep. So what? This is what I'm doing, Project Butterfly. Oh. Right. And that's when Leota's saying to Vigilante how Peacemaker's dad is causing so many problems, right?
Yeah.
Even
because Hardcastle sort of goes to her like, you need to sort of deal with this.
Yeah.
And then then Leota tries to talk Vigilante into killing his dad, but not actually say it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but you would know with these sort of things where you're like, okay, the double speak, but at the same time, you can't just, if you said what you wanted in the first place, right? But we always we can never implicate ourselves or confirm or deny or accept what we're saying, right?
Yeah.
So there's massive question marks all over the place, and you're like, rightio. Is that what you meant? Or are you suggesting it? Or what?
It's like winky.
Yeah, nudge. Yeah. So, yeah. So Agent Chase is like, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll get myself put into jail to kill Peacemaker's dad.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, and this is so dumb, right? But at the same time, it's perfectly in character.
Yeah.
He walks to like the local police station, right, where the cops are eating outside, like loads of them are sitting outside eating on the benches, like their lunch, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he grabs a bin right in front of him and just shuffles the bin further and further back towards the window. And they were looking at him like, what's this guy doing? And he's like, oh, don't mind me, I'm just gonna, yeah. So he gets right close to the window, he goes, oof, yeah, that was a bit of a tiring work. Now, then he lifts up the bin and then throws it against the window, right? The police station window.
Yeah.
And then they all pull their guns down on him. And he goes, okay. I'll let myself get arrested. I'm not fighting back. When you hold me down with some force, don't put too much force on my pinky toe. It's only half there. I'm like, you're a joker. All right, whatever. Okay. And then he basically just sits down right next to the group of white guys, which Aggie Smith is talking to, right?
Yeah. And
he comes there, and he basically just laughs at half of the joke that he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you know what we should all be thankful for? We should all be thankful for this. And then, he just rails off some stuff to antagonize them.
Yeah.
Into a fight. And then he just beats up a whole bunch of guys. And Aggie Smith obviously not punching because he's like, nah, see, if I do anything, you're going to say that I attacked you first. I'm smarter than that.
Yeah.
You can't get me. And then eventually he's like, oh, damn it. I couldn't kill Peacemaker's dad. And he's like, wait a minute. Because, the prison officers come to break up the fight. And he goes,
yeah.
I've got something to say.
Yeah.
Take me to the, because he's like, why? He can't believe his son is trying to assassinate him in jail, even though it's not really directly to do with him.
Nope.
Yeah, so it was like the outrage, which was quite funny as well.
Yeah.
So then he cuts to Peacemaker and Leota. They go to the hideout, right, and find that judo master's escaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they chase him down.
And then they have a fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was quite good. You know what? For a little man, big man fight, it was quite good because Judo Master had skills, and Peacemaker, I don't know exactly what kind of fighting skills he has, but at the same time, he did not come off looking the greatest, which is fair. Right?
Yeah, relies on weapons.
Yeah, exactly. So then they have their face off, and then because she got knocked out at the beginning, towards the end of the fight, she shoots Judo Master in the chest.
Yeah, when he's about to reveal stuff about the butterflies.
Yeah, he goes, you don't know what, the real reason why, and then bam, it's like, and Jonas's like, why'd you shoot him? I could have handled him. He's like, not outraged from the guy being shot and he was about to reveal information. He's like, no, I could have beaten him. I could have beaten him myself.
Like,
I didn't need your help. All right. Yeah.
So yeah, then after that, this is where Peacemaker goes back to his trailer.
Yeah.
And this is where you found out that he didn't actually kill Gorf.
Yeah.
He actually saved him or her.
He killed the person, right?
Yeah.
That the butterfly was inhabiting.
Yeah.
But he kept the butterfly itself alive.
Yeah. And then you see him feeding it.
Yeah.
And then this is where we get another flashback of him killing Flag.
Yeah.
And something traumatic that happened to him as a kid.
Yeah. See his brother just kind of flop over with bleeding nose, having a convulsion.
Yeah.
And John Cena also beat up. So you're like, oh, maybe something happened between both. Like, oh, young John Cena.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, maybe there was a specific reason. Like we don't know what happened prior to that. So it's just like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And then this is where he starts crying and stuff, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, oh, he's still hurt from all the bad stuff he's done.
Yeah.
Because, like, you could tell that thing that Flag said to him got to him. And kind of explains why he doesn't want to do certain things he's doing now.
Yeah.
Like murdering people.
Yeah. Murdering people for peace. That's right.
Yeah. So then...
Yeah.
And then after that, Aggie's men are about to fight Chase in prison, but he's bailed out by Hardcastle. Ah, cool. He's out. He's a free man now.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then Leota or
because it's the way he says, check the fingerprints, right?
Yeah.
They're not my fingerprints.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Go on.
No, that doesn't happen yet.
Oh yeah, okay, go on.
Cause I know Hardcastle just gets him out for some.
Yeah.
Gets Vigilante out.
Yeah.
And then we get Leota or Adeboya, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
She's finding out more about the butterflies, and she puts on one of Peacemaker's helmets.
Yeah.
The one you can see infrared. No, infrared, sorry, it's X-ray vision.
Yeah.
And she's about to call out to their higher up, Mur.
Yeah.
And then she notices that he is a butterfly, and then he attacks her. Well, he goes to attack her, and it ends there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, ooh, what is this?
Dun dun dun. Yeah.
And then the next episode, just basically is like, oh yeah, he's one of us.
Yeah. Harcourt's like, so Leo's like, he's a butterfly, blah blah blah, right? And then Harcourt's like, yeah, I know. She's like, what?
Yeah. You're like,
Wait, tell me, what's going on? How can you work with him? He's a butterfly. He's on our side. And he goes, when did you notice? And you not tell the rest of the team what's going on, right? Because I noticed when we were using an explosive to get into the house, and he just basically tanked the damage. And humans don't usually just do that. But don't worry, he's on our side. And they're like, right, okay,
sure.
Yeah. He was rebelling against them for he's rebelling against the rest of the butterflies. He's trying to help us. Yeah. Yeah. But this way, it's revealed that Leota had a diary that she needed to plant on in Peacemaker's house. That was way towards the beginning, right?
Yeah, that's way at the beginning.
So she has Amanda Waller is contacting her directly for some reason, right? And we just assume because she's new to the team.
Yeah.
That's why Amanda Waller is telling her what you need to do this and what's up.
Oh no, from the beginning, like it's her mum.
Oh really?
Yeah, from the start.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they don't know that's her. Well, she thinks they don't know that it's her mum.
Yeah.
But the other guy does.
Well, that's because what's kind of funny is like they'll question her also. John Cena's like, so when you're married to your wife, right?
Yeah.
Who takes whose name?
Yeah.
Yeah. I took her name. All right, fair enough. But I thought that they just did that to cover her surname as Waller.
Yeah.
As in, for the reveal later on for the audience watching.
Because even before they find out, she gets calls from her and it says "mum" on the phone, and she walks
away.
Yeah.
Damn it! I clearly did not pay that much attention to it. I didn't spy that Easter egg. Fair enough. Because how are you going to see something so small? But I guess they wanted to leave something for people to see.
Yeah.
If they noticed it, which fair enough. But
I think she even calls her mum one time on the phone. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite obvious.
All right. Maybe that was just me then. Maybe that was just me, just like yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So Mern, team leader, is explaining exactly what is it. He infected this dude because this guy's a murderer, right?
Yeah.
And it's a convicted murderer. It's not even a suspected murderer. It's a convicted murderer. I took his alias and I've turned him into a good person. Well, not a good person, right? But a useful person. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So I ain't so bad after all.
Yeah. He's trying to repent for everything that guy's done, basically.
Yeah, because we can access their memories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is where the fingerprints, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
So
and this is when Peacemaker Dad said something else racist. You're like, oh wow,
yeah.
fully doubling
Yeah,
down. On
you know
this now.
who to go. Something about because Sophie Song gets she's investigating this, right?
Yeah.
She gets the fingerprints, right? Check the fingerprints, and because she's got a friend off books,
Yeah.
that she sees the fingerprints come back as Chris Smith, but then, she sees that Ugly Smith's fingerprints don't match to the fingerprints at the scene.
Yeah.
And then we have Robert Patrick's like, oh yeah. I always knew you aged were on the up and up. I'm like, what?
Like, ooh. I was like, wow,
Okay.
he said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think I said like releasing him, but then check as they're releasing him, someone else tells the troops to put Ugly Smith back in jail.
Yeah.
And Sophie Song's like, what? This makes no sense. They're like, well, the fingerprints came back as his. So, and she's like, God damn it, something's up.
Yeah.
Something's really, incorrect with this situation. Because I have these fingerprints right in front of me that say they aren't his.
Yeah, now they're not. And then this is when a new police captain comes.
Yeah.
And you find out that Mur got him the job to help them cover up what's going on, cover up their mission.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy, right? This police officer, what is he like? I don't know. He's mentally just not there.
Yeah,
that's all. He's just wacky. That's the best way I can describe him.
Yeah,
Vigilante just like I'm feeling, right?
Yeah.
Situations like just you completely like voided out sometimes.
Yeah.
But this guy, he's just gone to another plane of existence.
Yeah.
Brain is like not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brain and body not in the same place at the same time is what I'm going with.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So at Peacemaker trailer, Vigilante and Peacemaker are trying to communicate with Goth, asking him yes or no questions. Except Vigilante's asking him open-ended questions.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker's like, "Are you an idiot?" And Vigilante's like, "You never know. His favorite color might be teal. We gotta ask him this stuff." Like, what do you need to know this stuff for?
And then this is where where Goth does the peace sign, and you're like, wait, what? We're confused.
Yeah. That's why they were like, oh, his intelligence outside of the host being.
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. But this is also where the police, they surround Peacemaker's trailer.
Oh no, that's not yet.
Is that not yet?
No, that's in the next episode.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, because this is where they go back, get the stuff, and then they go to infiltrate a factory where the butterflies are making food.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker wears his helmet again, and he starts killing things. Team split up, more killing, and then they get ambushed by a gorilla called Charlie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, first of all, let me just point out, you forgot about the grenade that was not really a grenade. Because he had the rocket launcher grenade thing.
Yeah.
Torpedo. And he just pulled the thing out and he threw it at the whole bunch, the zombie horde.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? A bit overkill.
Yep. That made no sense.
Yeah.
He's achieving peace. Oh, wait, because this is where he goes, they're like, because I think he has a little weird change of heart, isn't it, before this? And they go, oh, I thought you don't want to kill. He goes, oh, I don't want to kill humans. I'll kill these because I don't know what they are, so I'll kill them.
Yeah. All right.
Logic.
Yeah.
All right. So, he kills a bunch of them. Then he fight the gorilla, who batters the crap out of all of them, until Diebid comes and kills him with a chainsaw. And this is when he earns Peacemaker's respect.
Yeah. Finally.
Yeah. Because I think before this is where he does this like long 2-minute tangent just naming celebrities about, I can't remember what the reason why. Yeah. It just went on for ages. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. No, we were talking about how many the other people that he could have framed.
Yeah,
not
that
his
was it.
dad.
Yeah, it went on for ages.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah, and actually, what's quite neat as well throughout this entire thing is how Diebeard's beard is actually turning
More
white
and more
as time goes on.
Yeah.
Like, because he hasn't re-dyed it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
And then after this is when the team they feel like they're a team now. They've all bonded and they're having like a great time and drive back, taking pictures of each other.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And then Peacemaker invites Lero back to his house for a drink.
Yeah.
And she have a little moment and she's like, you know what, you need to be nice to the people. And he's like, you know what, I will be. And this is where she secretly plants the diary.
Yeah.
That was it.
So yeah. Oh no. Yeah. And then the egg. Okay, so you jumped forward.
I jumped forward. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the last episode at the end. That's when we find out that Thingy's a butterfly.
Yeah.
He
So
starts
the X-ray vision on the helmet happens after this segment, right?
Yeah.
And then after this segment, with the police and all that stuff. So then they surround Peacemaker's trailer, right?
No, I think that's it is. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
So Vigilante and Peacemaker talk to the butterfly. They're like, then they hear the police, and they're like, we gotta escape. And Vigilante, Peacemaker climbs through the top of the trailer, and Vigilante is just kind of hanging around the bottom. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm gonna tape the glass to my back. The glass jar contains the butterfly to my back, so I can use both hands to climb up. And like, you know what? You can't argue with that logic, but
True though.
at the same time, right? You could have just thrown the jar up. Just see Peacemaker could have caught it, and then you could have climbed up yourself.
Yeah, would make more sense, but
yeah. I need both hands to fight or whatever. Like, well, okay. Yeah. And I was like, as he's taping his back, I'm thinking, which does happen later on, but if you're taking a back bump with that attached
anything, or if he just like tried to get covered behind the wall, bang.
Yeah, exactly. That lower back is just going to be like
exposed.
Remember, you've lost that amount of space to do whatever you need to do. Yeah. So. And
this is when it takes over. What's her name? Agent Song.
Yeah.
I forget Sal, and then which causes all the police to chase them more into the field. So they run off into the field. Yeah. They nearly get away.
Yeah.
And as they get caught by some police, and they're about to sort of give up. That new police captain comes and shoots them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is just gonna go and do this. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then he's like.
Then he tells them, "Oh yeah, don't worry, they're on our. I'm on your side. Go." Yeah. And they're like, "But you just kind of make this worse.
Yeah.
By killing police, now they're gonna put that onto us as well."
Yeah.
And even they notice this. They're like, "What?" Because then Peacemaker brings it up later, doesn't he? Too.
Yeah. But so Fitzgibbon and Song goes there, right?
Yeah.
Song being now a butterfly, right?
Yeah.
But even she doesn't know what's going on because the police captain now describing who killed the troops. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't Peacemaker. No. He had the domino mask. He had ginger hair. He had a cape, black cape, and freckles and stuff like that. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What, you just chatting rubbish.
That's the biggest leap ever, but okay.
Yeah, so then Song just basically does a 180 turn back and goes to elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right? And Fitzgibbon's like, do you hear what he was describing? The police commissioner. He's nuts. He described a hamburglar.
Yeah.
What's the hamburglar doing here? It makes no sense.
And then she was giving some weird answers like, "Oh, we liked you." Well, she liked you. And you're like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Speaking in the third person, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't understand how he didn't clock that she was acting weird like that.
Yeah.
Even if you had a concussion, you're not gonna act that out of character. Well, all right, sure, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, look, what I want to say is we can't do justice to the amount of insanity.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
it's very fun, the dialogue. I mean, like, it breezes by because of how silly it is.
Yeah.
But how fun it is as well.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah. So song then. Oh no, am I skipping ahead? I was going to. Oh yeah, okay. So they find the diary, the Peacemaker diary, that's been planted, right? And the trailer, and then then the police are calling Peacemaker a psycho vigilante, mass murder or whatever, right?
Oh, that's not till later, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they find a diary, they use it for evidence, okay?
Yeah, but then that's when the captain takes like, oh no, we don't need this.
Yeah.
Because obviously, then he rings up the task force, Gamera, and that saying, we found his diary. Why does he have a diary?
Yeah.
And this is where sorry, Leota starts feeling guilty about hiding secrets from from Peacemaker, who's like basically her best friend at this point, and her mom. She's starting to feel conflicted, so she wants to leave the group.
Yeah.
And this is where they also find out that the butterflies have a thing called the cow, which is mass producing the amber fluid that they eat.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we need to find this place before, they can move it and we'll be screwed.
Yeah. And this is where Song, now a butterfly, gets an army of butterflies to possess all the inmates and correction officers at the police station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why this is also going on, Peacemaker's dad is preparing his followers to help him go and kill his son, and he puts on the white dragon armor, and you're like, oh, they're a racist group.
So what I like is like there's multiple different things going on all at once, which is cool. It's just like, so you're not waiting for plot A to go on, but B happens and stuff like that. It's just like they're all going to converge at some point because everything is being pushed forward. It's like, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, man, it flows. I like it.
Yeah. So this is where they then talk about. So the police hold a conference talking about the diary. And how insane the Peacemaker is. And Peacemaker's like, that shoddy diary looking thing. I'm a man. I don't have a diary. I have a journal. How dare they? But if I have a journal, why am I drawing like dragons and
unicorns?
Exactly. It makes no sense.
That's funny.
Yeah, he was just slating the diary, and then basically is saying to him, where did diary come from? And Leah is like, I planted it because my mum told me to.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you're an idiot, right? Because why don't you wait until after the mission is finished and then plant it in there? And that ways it would have been cleaned off our hands. And you planted it there before the mission's finished, and they're chasing us now.
Yep.
You fool.
And she's like, well, I'm new to all this. I used to be a vet.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, your mom just told me to keep an eye on you guys. I didn't know what's going on. She's bullying me. No, she wasn't really bullying me. But you know how it is, right? Your parents expect you to do something. You're like, I needed the money because I ain't got no job. Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's really sad. And then Peacemaker feels like betrayed and annoyed by all this, so he leaves. So him and Vigilante are going to try and find the cow on their own. They're going to use that.
With what's his face, right? The Diebeard.
Yeah, with Diebeard. Yeah. And why this is going on, the police go to Mer's house. Yeah. Well, where Mer's staying, and they kill him.
Yeah.
And they're like, you betrayed us. Like, no, I didn't betray you. You betrayed yourselves, basically.
Yeah. You tried to take over the world. We're not there to do that.
Yeah. You're forcing your stuff onto them. It shouldn't be that way. Yeah. So then they kill him.
They kill him, and then they eliminate his butterfly as well, right?
Yeah. You're like, oh.
And then White Dragon tracks down in his flying suit, by the way.
Yeah.
The Peacemaker, Vigilante, and Diebeard.
Yeah.
And they're just every white guys having a fight with these guys now.
Yeah.
Which is weird because you're like, right, so you're white guys fighting white guys, but you're protecting white guys, and this other white guy, the Peacemaker, is all about peace, but he's killing everyone in the name of peace. All right, so I guess all your logic works then.
Yep. None of your logic works, yeah.
Oh, whatever.
And then, yeah, so they sort of do their thing.
Yeah.
There's one bit where, the bit at the start of the fight, where White Dragon's beating the crap out of Peacemaker, and Vigilante's like, I'll get you a lot of space. So he sort of like distracts him and then throws a grenade.
Yeah.
And I thought he died from the grenade because you don't see him for ages.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So they run off while Vigilante does that.
Yeah.
And they realise they're getting tracked by the helmet.
Yeah.
So they put a helmet on the raccoon.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, oh.
Yeah. And this is where Vigilante resurfaces.
Oh, no, I was about to say the bit where Peacemaker, Diabe's like, who knew raccoons would be so, like, fearful, like, violent? And then Peacemaker goes, you're telling me? And you see all these cuts on his face.
Yeah.
That reminded me of a cartoon. That's why I thought a bit was funny.
Yeah, so all the aerial guys are chasing that raccoon in that direction. All right. And Vigilante is hiding behind a tree after he threw the grenade that hurt himself as well.
Yeah.
And he then gets in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he basically just drives down the road, but he's just fading.
Out of consciousness, yeah.
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 Which then it parks kind of roughly where Diabin and John Cena are, because I think he kind of worked out roughly where they go from the location.
Yeah.
And they get in the car, and then the car's being tracked again. And John Cena and Peacemaker's like, how's he following us? He's like, they were in the middle of the forest. And it goes, then they look at Vigilante, right? And Vigilante's like, yeah, about that. your helmets, in the back of the car, and Peacemaker, you fool! They got tracker helmets. I thought they look expensive. I don't know how you're gonna make some more if you don't have any. So yeah.
His heart was in the right place, but
yeah.
He messed up.
So they try to get rid of all the helmets, and I think the White Dragon fights them again.
Yeah. And then this is where you find out why Peacemaker's messed up, because he accidentally killed his brother because of his dad put him and his brother in a fight club. Sort of thing, betting money on who wins. Yeah. And he knocked out his brother. Well, he punched his brother and somehow gave him a seizure. Yeah. He died. Then his dad basically said that you're a waste of space.
Yeah. And then you kill your brother and like, well, you put these guys to fight each other.
Yeah.
And they were willing to do it, by the way. They were all hyped. Yeah, we're gonna have a good one. Yeah, high five. Yeah. So it was like, wow, that's a bit skewed. But...
Yeah. Like, wow, this is messed up.
Yeah. So how can you blame him for beating up his brother when you guys put him in the situation? Now you're saying it's his fault. Mm-hmm. Worse.
Yeah.
So you don't blame yourself for putting him there in the first place. Right. That's denial right there.
Yeah.
But then again, that just feeds into his villain mentality, right? Because it's never him; it's always someone else.
Yeah. And then this is when Peacemaker finally has like his moment where he realizes that he'll never, everything his dad's ever done from is wrong, and everything his dad is just evil, and he doesn't agree with any of it anymore. Not that he did in the first place, because this is where he makes a point of him being bisexual.
Yeah, something like that. He goes something about all them you women you slept with and the men. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, it was just like a bypassing line. It wasn't like
Yeah. And then Peacemaker's like, you know what? I'm proud of who I am, and I need to change for the better, and kills his dad.
No, Vigilante. Yeah, he interrupts the fracas because he's like, oh yeah, weak points in your armor, a bitch.
Oh yeah.
And then they kill his dad.
Yeah. Who's his dad hurt eagerly as well, which was quite
Yeah. And then Peacemaker has a little breakdown because obviously he's just killed his own father, and then he's like, well, first I think it's like the idolization goggles just finally dropped off. He's like, yeah, this is not actually a good guy to be trying to impress.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they take Eagly back. They take Eagly to a vet, right?
Yeah.
And then Harcourt and Leo head over there as well.
Yeah.
To tell the team that Mern has been killed by the butterflies.
Yep.
And then, like, Peacemaker's like, oh, Eagly, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Because he was boasting before to Leo how an eagle can hug him, right? And she's like, you're chatting rubbish. You're chatting straight rubbish, right?
Yeah.
So he's talking to Eagly. She's walking outside. She's like, outside the area. And Eagly, like, hugs Cena. And she sees it. She's like, oh my goodness. I can't believe what I just witnessed.
Yeah.
Is that a sign? Does that mean we're on the right side?
Yeah, because she was looking for a sign, because she was going to leave, wasn't she? And then she found
yeah.
a sign like, you know what, I need to see this to the end. I need to save the world.
And John Cena's got his camera out for the photo with the eagle hug, and like, you're a joker. Because this is a joke from the first episode, and you pay it off now. Good stuff, good stuff.
And then...
So, this is where they, the team finally get their stuff together. And they're like, well, we know where we need to go. Let's go to the cow.
Yep.
And clean this crap up.
Yeah,
right?
before it teleports and we can never find it again.
Yeah. Exactly. And, oh no, just before this, right? Oh no, is this just after this? When they're on their way to it in the van, right?
Yeah.
And Leo is trying to apologize for planting the diary. And a vigilante and Peacemaker just act like immature children. They're like, she starts to say sorry, and they're like making fart sounds with their mouths, and then they move they lean on one side of their butt cheeks to lift their leg up at her to fart towards her, and then they just using their arms to wave over the pretend fart tube over to her, and she's trying to apologize, like, well, I can't hear you, I can't hear you over the smell. Like, what kind of insanity is this? But it just fits the moment, because it's like something super funny to break up something. They're going to like their final mission or whatever. Yeah. So he's just like super childish, but at the same time, you're like,
how they sort of, that's how people might deal with almost probably gonna die in the future, you know.
Yeah. You don't let your people say final goodbyes, so you just make fart noises and then blow the fart fumes at them. Good stuff.
Oh, the best.
Yeah. So Leo is there. Like, they arrive to the ranch, and Leo is there to Amanda Waller. Well, like, can you call the Justice League, because we don't have a lot of time to do this.
Yep.
It's only five of us. Yeah, exactly. And she's like, what does Waller basically say? Doesn't really say yes, doesn't really say no, right?
No,
just feel like do what you can, right?
Yeah, basically.
Which means, we're like, it would help to know how long we have to delay these people for if we are getting reports.
Yeah, exactly.
If not,
then
we're gonna have to just go and
all
do our yeah. So Chris Smith gets all his helmets out and says, "All right, this helmet does this helmet does this helmet does this." Okay, so how can we use these to go across there to do whatever we need to do? So they got a Sonic Boom helmet, they got the anti-grav helmet, and they got the human torpedo helmet. And he's like, shouldn't use the human torpedo helmet. It'll knock you out.
Yeah.
Or
shatter all your bones or whatever.
Yeah. And then Leo's like, all right, so maybe we'll get the anti-grav helmet and put and paste the Sonic Boom helmet on this location, and then voice activate the Sonic Boom helmet, right? By the way, is the anti-grav helmet voice activated? Do you just say activate voice anti-grav? And then the helmet starts blowing up. And by the time they notice it's too far away, they're like, "You idiot!" And she goes, "I didn't know. How am I supposed to know that these are all voice activated, like with those words?" And all right, the helmet's gone. Now we're gonna get the helmet up there. All right, so we can get Eagly to get the helmet to put on there, right? And they're like, "Shut up," because this eagle does not understand English. Can it understand any commands? And they're like, John Cena's like, yes, it can. And then he shot him like a smash cut to Eagly just beating up the helmet. No, Eagly, you got to fly up over there.
Now this bit was the whole bit was funny. Like, why are you doing all this?
And well, how long was that segment? Probably like a good solid 5-minute segment
Yeah.
of nothing happening.
Yeah,
other
just
than
him trying to
being
explain to Eagle how to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're like, oh. And then when he finally lifts it over, starts flying with the helmet, they're like, yes, he's gonna get it. And he just throws it into the forest. They're like,
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like, silly Eagle-y.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, how are we going to get it to there? And Diebeard said, like, you know what? I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll take it in there. I'll take one for the team. I will take the helmet inside the base. They're like, all right. Okay, you go do it. So he walks over there, right, in his, what do you want to call it? Electrician's costume or whatever? Just overalls, yeah?
Yeah, or it was like a security guard costume. Something. It was something weird, yeah.
And they just basically ask, he gets stopped, yeah? And he asks, why are you going into that barn? And he just says something like, just says,
because it's backpack. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? And everyone's like, on the comms, like, how did they just buy him just saying that? Fair enough. There's no exactly what's going on in this bag, why you need to put the bag in there. No, it's just, this bag is the reason I need to go in there.
Right.
Rightio.
All right.
Yeah. So he puts Sonic Boomer helmet in the butterfly base.
Yeah.
And then they catch him going out.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? Your host, right? Why does your host have that beard the way it is?
Yeah.
Half-dyed beard. I've never seen such a thing before. Right? And then he's like, all right. Well, it's because he was thinking he'd look better with a recolored beard because he's got low self-confidence, low self-esteem, and he's just trying anything he can to make himself look better. In fact, he's been trying to go to the gym to lose some weight. He's like just...
You basically just tells his whole life story, and you feel kind of bad. You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah. He's got issues, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got issues. He's got stuff going on we don't know about, even though John Peacemaker's been taking the mick out of him all that time.
And I think even he notices, like, oh wow, I should lay off the guy now. That's kind of mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those down to earth moments. Like, oh wow, this is weird.
Yeah. So they cause the shockwave to go off.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do enough damage.
Yeah.
So then Hardcore, Vigilante...
Oh no, it does enough damage, but they have to go now to go and finish off the worm.
Yeah. So Peacemaker, Hardcore, and Chase go and full frontal assault.
Yeah.
When they're just blasting everybody. And Leo's there just... Yeah, so she finally, she can shoot her gun, I guess, fine. When technically, would you say the people that the butterflies infect are already dead?
Yeah, I'll say they're already dead.
Yeah, so she can shoot people that are already dead, but not people that are alive, I suppose, right?
Well, it's end of the world scenario, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that too, yeah. And then Diebeard comes to try and help as well, except he runs off to help and he breaks his ankle right away.
Oh, it's so graphic as well.
Yeah.
You literally see the bone through the skin, like, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah. So I think Hardcore, does she get shot down or something like that? No, she gets saved by Leoa.
But she gets shot a couple times.
Yeah.
But
as we know from every single... Well, okay. No, she looks like she's gone down, but when you watch every single action movie, like the heroes somehow are sponge bullets, right?
Yeah.
And the bad guys just go down with one shot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but here with this, right, you don't know who's expendable or not, to be fair.
That's why I thought... Because when you see her get shot... Well, Vigilante first, like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
I could buy him dying. I could buy her dying as well.
Yeah.
But, no. They're not the Suicide Squad, so I guess everyone can survive.
Peacemaker is fighting Sophie Song, the butterfly version.
Yeah.
And Adebayo, which is her surname, by Leo's surname.
Yeah.
Right. She's like, I'm going to use... She goes, humans torpedo activate, right? Or whatever, yeah?
Yeah.
And she misses it and smashes her head against the wall. And Peacemaker and Butterfly Song are then looking at her, go, "What?
Yeah.
What just happened? What was that?"
Oh, so funny.
And then this is like so Butterfly Song has Peacemaker by the neck, and he puts him down and said, "Look, yeah, just follow me and explain everything, and maybe you can join our ranks like Julian Master did join our ranks, yeah."
Yeah.
Right. Listen before like I mean, well, you know, we could just destroy you, so to your benefit.
To listen, yeah.
And then like take him to the where the cow is, and she's trying to explain how our planet was destroyed, right?
Yep.
But we can save humanity from destroying itself if we invade your planet.
Yeah, because basically she's saying like then their planet sort of went through the same thing ours is going through. That's why it destroyed. That's why they're trying to save ours.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the same, but they will sort of take over at the same time. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
And wouldn't you, as Peacemaker, who wants ultimate peace, want actual ultimate peace? And he's like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? And because he sees the cow and he's like, you know what? Activate human torpedo. And then my unconscious body just flies towards it.
So bad.
And you're like, what? And so she smashes the cow. She flops on the ground, yeah? And then she starts getting up going, what happened here? I'm covered in blood. You're like, right. Yeah.
And then
so then the Peacemaker kills Safety Song.
Yeah.
And the butterfly as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because we'll talk about it in a minute, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So so then he goes and picks up Harcourt's. They go to the outside. They do a hero walk. Pick up Harcourt's body because we don't exactly know if she's
dead or alive.
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point, yeah.
And then the Justice League. Silhouettes of the Justice League arrive. Okay.
Yeah.
Superman silhouette, Wonder Woman silhouette, Flash and Aquaman.
Yeah.
And then John Cena's calling them all out. Oh yeah, why didn't you arrive earlier? Could have used your help like 5 minutes ago, you damn jabronis.
Yeah.
Well, I'm toning it down from where he actually.
Yeah, well, he actually says, yeah.
And then he walks past Aquaman. He goes, "Why don't you just go and F a fish, you punk?" Right? And then Aquaman's like,
"F you, Peacemaker."
yeah. He's like, "I hate that effing rumor."
Yeah.
And Flash is like, "It's not a rumor." And then Aquaman looks at Flash like, F you, Barry."
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I thought was quite funny because
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. And you're like, they have a humor in their characters that allow them to say such things as well. Because sometimes people are overprotective of the characters, but I think Jason Momoa, he looks like physically someone you don't want to mess with, like the mean face, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're like, you must be actually quite a joker.
Yeah, him. You can tell.
Yeah. So then it cuts to way later, and Harcourt is in the hospital bed receiving assistance. So is Adrian Chase and Diebeard.
Yeah.
So the whole team, some of the team has got. The only one of the team that was not injured during the fracas is Diebeard, who injured himself.
Yep. Broke his own leg. Yeah.
Yeah. Leo and Peacemaker make peace over the diary.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, big diary, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then she starts leaking information about Project Butterfly. She's like, as Argos and
Task Force X.
Yeah, exactly.
She's part of Argus, and she basically said, Task Force S got to do with this. Amanda Waller did that. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
Peacemaker's not really a psycho, and Amanda Waller is just watching watching the screen, going, "Mother effer."
Yep.
Even though he's her own kid.
Yeah. Because now Peacemaker's seen as a hero.
Yes. Who steps out of his trailer with Eagly and. I think would you say the song Butterfly?
Yeah, apparently. That's what Wikipedia says.
Yeah. So like, all right. And then when he looks to the side, he sits down, looks to the side, and he sees a hallucination of his father.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just, looks to the sun or whatever. And his father's not there anymore.
Yeah. So
and then it ends.
That means that's a ghost he's got to deal with. In his brain.
I'm actually very intrigued to see what they could do, like, with the rest of it.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy, but not too crazy.
No.
At the same time, you don't want to even. I think this is the right level of nuttiness.
Yeah.
Because you take it too far and you start turning people into cartoons.
Yeah. Like, what I liked about this ending as well is you could tell that he was not convinced that he actually did the right thing by killing the cow. Hence why he kept the butterfly alive at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, there's some more dimension to this guy.
Yeah. I like I think it was very, very well cast actually.
Yeah, it was.
Because everyone played their parts and they played it how they should. Because sometimes serious, sometimes not. Sometimes a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like how they just use random so probably the people in the DCEU won't be using these particular characters, and they're like, you know what, James Gunn's like, I'll just take these characters and use them and do whatever I want with them because they don't care.
Yeah,
they're not going to use these people.
No.
Yeah. So like they mentioned Kite Man, they mentioned Matter Eater Lad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some other stuff, and you're
Green
like,
Arrow.
yeah. You know what? You could probably use these people. They're not gonna. They're hardly going to be used in any DC whatever.
Probably anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one I found funny though was when he kept mentioning Batman at first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then when they mentioned Green Arrow, he's like, yeah, he's a furry. He goes to conventions and do this. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What people you decide to use that on the Green Arrow? Fair enough.
And then Superman's likes it. What did he say about Superman?
Oh, I can't remember.
He's an alien. Okay. They like, Superman. He likes to do whatever without whatever, and then he just mouthing off about certain things about certain superheroes by saying Batman is not a good superhero because he lets his villains live, and I kill them all my villains so they don't come back. But I like how they basically just take pot shots at everything.
Yeah,
and you don't know whether it's true or not, or I googled it. But that doesn't mean it's actually true. Yeah. But then it fits his personality to say this crazy.
Yeah, that's why you can get away with it because it's like, can you really trust him though? He's obviously not right in the head.
Yeah. I recommend. I'd say 2 thumbs up because I didn't know what I was going into expecting this, how serious it was going to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, with James Gunn and the Suicide Squad being involved in this, but at the same time, could have made it serious, but actually, it was just a bit more insane than Suicide Squad itself.
Yeah.
So well done to these guys.
Yeah. It was a good redemption story for Peacemaker because if you think about, because I've read it somewhere, I was like, this makes sense. Yeah. He's the only character in that film who doesn't have a redemption.
Yeah.
He starts as a dick, ends as a dick.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that he got this series to sort of flush him out.
Yeah.
And he is a alright guy.
And Cena surprisingly well cast in this role.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it is actual Peacemaker and how much of it is John Cena, but it fits. It's just like a bit more adult-rated John Cena.
I don't know, I don't think he is. I think... Because we've already used this comparison already, but like The Rock.
Yeah.
Ever since, like, Fast Furious 5, in every film, he plays himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, John Cena... This, I wouldn't say is John Cena, you know what I mean? It's like...
Oh, okay, it's fair enough.
A different sort...
I'll tell you, okay, he has the charisma and vibe of John Cena, but he's not actually the John Cena character.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like...
Yeah.
Not to say The Rock's a bad actor, I've already probably gone through so many times. He's not a bad actor or anything, but... To me, he doesn't really make an effort anymore. Yeah. John Cena... In this, you can tell he's making an effort to make it something.
Yeah.
And it's coming off.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So double thumbs up. You're saying, and I'm saying, right? And just be aware of. Obviously, there's a lot of swearing in this, but it's really fun. Actually, it's really fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah. So very well done to everyone involved here over this thing. I mean, they took minor characters from the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And made them major characters in here. You're like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because it even starts with that woman getting arrested. From the end of Suicide Squad, the one that hits Amanda Waller with the... Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you get the build of exactly why Peacemaker ends up the way he's doing. But then, okay, the gradual reveals are also good because you're like, why is these things a bit off key at the beginning?
Yeah.
And then you just go into the relationship with other characters like as a blank.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you get it filled in later on, you're like, oh, some of yous are nasty, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, okay. But I'm happy.
Yeah.
I
mean, it was definitely worth the watch.
Yeah. Can't wait
Worth
for
your time,
season
worth the
2.
watch. Oh yeah. Only 8 episodes, by the way, as well. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm happy with the what's it called? The episode
Length?
count.
Yeah, same.
Because
I think if it went a bit longer, I might have got a bit.
might be like more filler. And
Yeah.
they're roughly about 45 minutes each. They're more or less, you know, they're not too, you know. You know how sometimes the episodes of, like, say, Falcon and Winter Soldier or One Division, so they did vary in episode length.
Yeah.
So this was all good.
It's all good. I'll put
Cool,
a par
cool.
with them. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm the man who walks around in tighty whities in the forest with my helmet, with my toilet seat helmet. See why, Chong?
This helmet's the best. And I am the guy who goes to furry conventions dressed up as Green Arrow, Kyle Charles.
Right. Yeah.
It's just the best.
So, yeah. Let us know what you thought of Peacemaker.
Yep. The man of peace by any ways necessary.
Yeah. Which, if it involves, obviously, letting us know what you kind of thought about his arc in Suicide Squad, that's fair enough. Because, you know, one does feed into the other.
Yeah. This is a direct sequel. Or
Yeah.
bridge to a sequel, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit of a shame that they couldn't have some of the other characters from Suicide Squad to have make appearances, but at the same time, it's like this doesn't involve them.
Yeah. Trying to think who could they have brought in it? Huh.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, because for one-off episode things, you could have had Bloodsport appear just for something, but then it wouldn't make sense in this story, you know.
Yeah. For some reason, though, I thought, because I didn't see the finale when it came out, I saw like 2 days later, and I kept seeing things like, oh, the cameo at the end will blow your mind, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. For some reason, I just thought, oh, maybe Bloodsport shows up.
Yeah. But if they do have Bloodsport, they probably have the guy in the costume, but not Idris Elba. Maybe Idris Elba do a voiceover, and then maybe one scene where Idris Elba takes off the helmet and it's actually him, but the rest of the time it's a stuntman or whatever.
Yeah, that's probably what will happen. Yeah. Because they don't really need it, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Or, you know, something like that. But no. Let us know what you think of Peacemaker. Was it too... It wasn't gratuitous, but it did swear a lot. So did you thought it was too potty mouth?
Yes.
What do you think of the inane conversation they randomly have?
Yeah.
They're very funny, actually. I enjoyed them.
Did you think it needed more, or was there too many? I think they could have a few more, you know.
Yeah. It's funny enough, I would say. This series probably could have done more of those random conversations that lead to nothing whatsoever.
Like the face muscles. By crying, you're making your face more defined.
Yeah. Whatever logic that you're like, is this true or are these people just spouting rubbish?
It's rubbish. Yes. Let us know if you enjoyed all that. Also, don't forget to share this with your friends, you know, because it will help us bring peace across the world by any means necessary. By killing any man, woman, or child. And then we might. But if we come across that beach with full of the genitalia, you know, I mean. I need to watch that film again. But I'm gonna trail off because I've confused myself. But until next time, guys. Thank you all for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
The human body through one of its orifices and burrow through the brain, where they then are in control of the body.
They go through the butt?
I think that's just some creativity on the part of whomever did the animation.
The butt is an orifice, okay?
That means they'd have to crawl through poop. Just because they're aliens doesn't make them gross. Bigotry.
Superman's an alien. He's got a poop fetish.
What?
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah. He uber-liebes the old Scheiße, as I understand it.
Where do you get this nonsense?
Google.